I'm sure glad I tuned into Fox News. Well, I guess Yeshua doesn't love women. Because according to the inspired, or the allegedly inspired Greek New Testament, women are left out of the picture. He just loves his young sheep, Adnion, and his male sheep, Probaton. Where are the ladies? Is this the same rabbi who was supported by ladies? Is this the same rabbi who appeared to Miriam Magdalena, who was the first person to see him after he rose from the dead? Was she not a lady?
Yes.
Was this not the one who had a disciple, Johanna, the steward? Was this not the one who had many women disciples who were more faithful than the men? Where are they? In the Greek, they're not there, because Yeshua just says, in this male-dominated society, he just says, well, take care of my young sheep, my arnion, and take care of my adult male sheep, my probaton. And P.S., you don't know if you're coming or going, because I want to take you to a higher love. Instead of brotherly love, I want to bring you into agape love. If that was taking place, Peter wouldn't be confused, would he? If Yeshua wanted to take him to a spiritual love rather than a carnal love, or a brotherly love, wouldn't Kepha pick up on that? Wouldn't he understand that? But he's confused. So Yeshua keeps repeating himself, which is actually a rabbinical technique to make Kepha realize which of the choices of Rachem, is it Rachem from above, or is it Rachem from below? Is any of this sinking in? Yeshua, I hear this Rachem, but what we're talking, I don't understand what you mean by Rachem. You know I Rachem you. Do you mean the earthly Rachem, or the one Yaakov talks about that's from above, that is undefiled, pure, and perfect? Yeshayahu 26:3, perfect peace have them who love you, and nothing shall offend them. Perfect peace. Are you talking about this perfect peace, or are you talking about earthly peace? Are you talking about your shalom, or are you talking about the shalom that the world gives? Are we on?
Amen.
Are we going?
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. Well, ladies, there's bad news for all you Greek primicists. If you're a Greek primicist, you're out of luck. Even though we don't believe in luck, you're out of it. Let's continue. Did the master who is grilling the Talmid Kepha to get into the most minute point of understanding the Rachem he's talking about is heavenly Rachem and not earthly Rachem, would he just leave out a detail that he, the creator, forgot the other half of the human race? He, the creator, Maria, Kepha calls him Lord Yah, Maria, he just forgot the other half of the human race? The answer is no. The reason Yeshua says, take care of my sheep twice, is not take care of Adam and Steve.
Hallelujah.
Take care of Adam and Eve.
Amen.
Adam ve Chava.
Amen.
Would a man who constantly risked condemnation of the Jewish leaders by allowing women to contribute substantially to his ministry, Luke 8:1, John 20, verse 1, suddenly now turn course and ask that only men be taken care of by Kepha? Would a man whose ministry was full of love and support by Talmidaim, women, suddenly say, well, Kepha, if you're going to be the first pope, you're going to just make sure all the men and all the teenagers are taken care of. Kepha, you're going to be the first pope, all right, sick, then take care of the man, and take care of my teenagers, but forget the women, because you know us rabbis have nothing to do with women anyway. Does that sound like Yeshua that allowed women to follow him from Galil, from Yerushalayim, from Yehuda, from Shomron, from Yaakov's well, in Yochanan chapter 4? Well, in the Greek it is. In the Greek he's saying, if you love me, then feed my lambs, my young ones, and my male sheep. And he repeats his male sheep twice. The problem here is, where are the ladies?
Amen.
Where are the ladies here? This is not in character with Yeshua. But in the Aramaic, it's different.
Hallelujah.
In the Aramaic, It's a different word. And community photos come together in one album. Again, this message, community photos. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. The problem is, there's this word that appears for sheep in verse number 18, which we have there, okay? And it is exclusively, let me make sure I get my facts right here. Verse 15, feed my lambs. Those are the young ones. Verse 16, feed my sheep. Verse 17, the word for lambs is actually used. What is a ewe? E-W-E. Can anyone give me the definition of a ewe?
Female sheep.
Huh?
Female sheep.
Female sheep.
Exactly, Rebbetzin. Man. It is a female, a ewe, it's literally E-W-U, the English word ewe, which is female sheep. Wait a second. The reason Yeshua is repeating himself is not just because Kepha denied him 3 times, not just to clear up his confusion that he wants Kepha to love him, Rachem, spiritually, not just as a brother, physically, but more than that, he wants Kepha to feed all his children, all his Talmidim, all his students, and all of his followers.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. The problem here is that this word translated lambs in verse 17 is the female word sheep, which, check this out, in the Aramaic is used 1 time. In the entire Brit Chadashah, in the entire Aramaic Peshitta, this word is used 1 time. Ladies, when Yeshua rose from the dead, he told Kepha, who was not the first pope, but according to 1 Kepha 5:13, took the Gospels and the parchments east to Babylon to protect it from the West and those who would corrupt the translated Greek manuscripts.
Uh-oh. Amen. Come on.
Keep your finger there. I want to reiterate this point, even though we covered this earlier.
Amen.
1 Kepha, keep your finger in Yochanan 21. Go to 1 Kepha 5:13. 1 Kepha 5:13. Kepha saying the Kehillah, or the Edat Yisrael, we learned that earlier. The congregation that is in Babel, elected together with you, salutes you, sends you greetings, and so does Moshe Marcus, my son. When the congregation of Yerushalayim was sent into the exile because of the persecutions and later the Roman dispersion of 70 CE, where did Peter go? To Rome? Right, Rome. He went to Babel. And as I said earlier, you and I were always taught when we were in that system that the word Babylon is just a code word for Rome. Peter really was in Rome. Come on. Come on. Isn't that what we were taught? That this word Babylon is just a code word for Rome. That is really Peter writing from Rome saying shalom to all my brothers. Sorry, the Aramaic Peshitta is to be taken what? In the first level of Hebraic interpretation, or the what? Simple, simple, simple. He says he was in Babylon. He was. He went east to the congregations of the east that were known as the Kenutah de Nezarim, meaning the assemblies of the Nazarenes. They were even called Nazarenes in Babylon. That is historical proof. 1 Peter in the Aramaic Peshitta, in the Aramaic Peshitta, it is written to Kenutah de Nezarim, meaning to the assembly of Netzarim in Babylon, which was the largest Jewish community. And when Ezra, Nehemiah, and Zerubbabel returned in 520 or 525 BCE, most of the Jews stayed in Babel. Most of them never came back. It is to those Jewish survivors, according to Galatians 2:8, where Rav Shaul says Kepha was sent to the circumcision, like I was sent to the uncircumcision. Kepha went west into Macedonia, Athens, and Greece. I went east to oversee the Kenutah de Nezarim, or the Nazarene assemblies that were thrown out of Yerushalayim during the Bar Kokhba revolution and the Jewish wars against the Romans and the Roman wars against the Jews, and he went east, and he says, "Hi, I'm writing, the congregation in Babylon salutes you, and P.S., Babylon is Babylon. New York is New York.
Amen.
Puerto Rico is Puerto Rico.
Amen.
Havana Pequeña is Havana Pequeña."
Amen. Hallelujah.
It's not a code word, it's not a code word for Lisbon. Well, brother, you're just not indoctrinated in church teaching. Don't you know that when you see Havana, you have to read Lisbon? It really means Portugal. Now, you understand now, it's just a code word. Hey, man, the Peshitta is easy to understand. Only the Greek, you've got to do gyristics, to try to understand what's going on. Family photos, community pictures. Kiva is writing from the churches in the East, and the reason I use churches is those are the words that were called, because they had the actual documents, and they were preserving the documents, and he says, "I'm writing to you from the Nazarene assemblies," and by the way, like I shared with you earlier, for those of you who weren't here, see, we got a problem with the Greek. We need David Stern to fix this problem, or we need Rabbi Moshe Kalachansky to fix this problem. But we all know that all the English translations say church. To the church at Rome, to the church at Corinth, greetings, grace to you, and peace from God the Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And we go, oh my goodness, how do we get this word church out of here? But in the Aramaic Peshitta, which was the actual written language of the Brit Chadashah, you don't have to. What did we learn earlier? The Aramaic word is edat. Edat. The same word, congregation, in the Torah to refer to the people of Israel. Go ahead, look up the word. Every time you see the word mistranslated as church or ecclesia in Greek, in the Aramaic Peshitta, the original language of the Bible, the word is edata, or the congregation at Rome. That is the same word used for Edat Yisrael in the Tanakh. Does this blow your mind? The Peshitta solves all these problems. All these discrepancies are out the window solved with the Peshitta. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Let's get back to Yochanan 21. We took a little bit of a detour. Hallelujah. Yochanan 21. Amen. So there are, that word there in verse 17, the word for you, which is female she, is the Aramaic term nikwia. Let me spell it. N-I-Q-U-I-A. N-I-Q-U-I-A. It appears one time in the Peshitta. And as a result, someone for whom Aramaic is a second language, like let's take examples, Greek translators. Someone who is a Greek translator would never understand this word because it is only used one time in the entire original Bible. They have nothing to compare it to in Greek or Aramaic because it's never used. It's just used this one time. As a result, they can study for years and never come across the understanding of this term. Nikwia. Write it down. Nikwia. Then when confronted with this word, nikwia, the Greek redactor must have become confused and simply played it safe by using probaton a second time to refer to two groups of male sheep. Because he couldn't recognize the word and he didn't know how to translate the word, so he wrote probaton 2 times. Meaning, take care of my young Talmidim, my male sheep, Adam and Steve, no women. Where are the ladies? Well, tough luck. You just, in the Greek, you're not there. So because they didn't understand this unique Aramaic term, nikwia, which is translated as ewes or lambs, females, the Greek uses probaton, male adult, twice. Now some may insist that probaton in Greek, male sheep, is technically a neuter term. What is a neuter term? That's neither male or female, or that's neutral. Now some Greek, this is the way they'll recite, well, probaton is neuter, it's not male or female, and depending on the context can mean either male or female. Okay? That's what they could say. But the problem is, Strong's Concordance, Liddell Scott, and others list the word as a neuter. But that is misleading. First, listen, no serious scholar doubts that this conversation did not take place in Greek. How can Yeshua use probaton even as a neuter, meaning it could be either male or female, when the whole conversation never took place in Greek? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
How could he be referring to probaton twice when when probaton was never mentioned? The conversation was in Aramaic.
Amen.
Do you understand? In Aramaic, he uses 3 words. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And I have this written here somewhere else. He uses 3 different terms. Okay, I don't have the terms he uses, but email me, I'll be happy to send them to you. He uses 3 different Aramaic terms, and I'll be happy to send them to you. I don't have them here. For some reason, I don't see them listed here. Okay? So I'll be happy to mail them to you if you contact me, email or otherwise. Okay, no serious scholar doubts that this conversation took place in Aramaic. So even if it is true, now listen to this, even if it is true that the New Testament was written in Greek, which is impossible, but let's assume, let's play devil's advocate, that the New Testament was written in Greek. Then the word in Aramaic for sheep, meaning exclusively female, meaning nikia, keeping in mind that the purpose of a neuter form is to be vague about the gender of a particular individual or group, potentiality, even one male sheep to be in that last group, is one sheep.